Well, hello again, and welcome back to Virtue's Last Reward. I'm Tentris, and we're gonna get started. Last we left off, we finished the director's office, and we have yet to get the ID for the director's office, or a password, really. Where is it? Oh yeah, we just came back from there, and we're about to start an AB game. They waited for us. Everyone else went into their AB room. They waited for us so they could tell us that they're going to choose ally.
True, but we've got something to back it up. Just hear me out.
Okay. Go ahead.
Quark and I both have 8 BP. We're already on the home stretch. So what do we need to get to the magic number?
1.
Well, we need you to choose ally.
Yeah.
If you do that, it doesn't really matter to us what we pick.
You'd get 9, whether you got 2 or 3 points.
Exactly. That being the case, we don't have any reason to betray you. And if we both choose ally, we both gain points.
But I would only have 5. Whereas, if I choose betray, and you guys choose ally, then I will have 6 and you will have 6. True, but you must have considered that I'll choose betray. That would mean you choose betray to protect yourself.
That's why we're telling you we won't choose betray.
Mm-hmm.
Can I trust you?
Of course.
Alright, tell me one thing. Let's say we do this and both ally, everybody gets 2 points. That means you and Quark will have enough to leave, which is great for you, but I'll be stuck with a measly 5. How do I know you aren't going to just open the number 9 door and leave us in the lurch?
I can guarantee it.
How?
I can give you my word.
That's not a guarantee.
I will not open the number 9 door, even if I have enough points to do so. I swear it. We aren't going to abandon everybody else just so we can escape.
I swear too. I promise.
Man. So all you've got is a promise, huh?
When I make a promise, I keep it. Trust me.
Please! You've got to trust us.
Alright, fine. I'll trust you.
2 minutes remain.
Yeah.
We're counting on you, Sigma.
Thank
You've
you.
got to choose ally. You promised.
With that, they turned and ran to the AB room, second from the right. But this is the final one, yeah? Well, I guess I should get moving. I am so curious to know what happens if I choose betray. But we'll find out later. We'll do ally. Because we did promise.
1 minute remains.
We still have... I had a decision to make. I was like, we still have this one to redo. There we go. I mean, I'm pretty sure that's a dead end anyway. Maybe. Maybe not. I don't know. 5 minutes of life. I really don't know what's going on there. Should I trust Quark and Temyoji? Well, I could believe they were telling the truth and still betray them. That would bring my BP to 6. I'd be that much closer to 9. And choosing betray would guarantee that they wouldn't try to escape without the rest of us. Betrayal seemed like the safe bet, but...
Please! You've got to trust us. You've got to choose ally.
I don't know, that smile looks so suspicious.
You promised.
Temyoji, I could betray easily enough, but Quark is using his childish looks. What the hell was I gonna do?
10 seconds remain. 9, 8, 7.
I don't need the
6,
countdown,
5,
lady.
4, 3, 2,
2,
1.
1. She's an ally. I did promise.
Round 3. Result. Thank you. Ambidex.
Hmm.
Results from please.
Oh yeah, Alice is dead. I knew it! I fucking knew you would betray me! It was that smile. I don't know why you did it. You brought me back down to 1 point. Wow. Wow. I'm surprised Luna betrayed Kay.
Points have been. Please check your.
Hey! What the hell, guys? Why'd you betray
Clark
me?
had nothing to do with this. I made the vote.
Grandpa.
Alright, fine. Why'd you break your promise,
I only
Tenmyoji?
promised you one thing. We wouldn't open the number 9 door, even if we got 9 points.
What? So you're not going to leave?
Not what I said. Of course we're going to leave. Look.
What?
See Clover over there?
What? Don't tell me. Oh my god. Fucking loopholes!
Oh no.
Jeez.
That bitch!
Wait. Quark and Tenmyoji have...
The words were barely out of her mouth when Tenmyoji and Quark ran past.
No! God damn it!
Clover, are you really going to leave? Well, yeah. Why else would I open the door?
But why?
There's a murder.
I'm going to go call the others. So we can capture Zero Senior. Tenmyoji, are you and Quark going too?
Yeah. Sorry about that.
Sorry, everybody.
So Sigma, happy? I kept my promise.
No, you didn't.
Clover opened the door, not me.
Like hell, I'm happy. That's some shady shit, Tenmyoji.
Say so.
Like, you had no need to betray me.
I have to get out of here, and that's that.
Like, what was so bad with choosing
He's
ally?
gotta pay for what he's done.
He.
Zero.
You mean you know who Zero Senior is?
Yeah. No point keeping it a secret now, I suppose. I know exactly who Zero Senior is.
What?
The number 9 door has been opened. It will remain.
Let's go. Come on, guys. Time to move.
Right.
Oh, wait! This is for you, Mr. Sigma.
Quark held something out. I looked down to see 2 pieces of folded paper. What is this?
It's a letter. I wrote it in the director's office before the AB game. I wanted to tell you what kind of guy Grandpa is. So, read it, okay?
You press it into my hand.
See you later, Mr. Sigma.
Then he turned and ran toward the door, Tenmyoji and Clover following in his footsteps. I was so surprised by the letter that I didn't even try to stop them, before I could think of anything to say.
See you.
Goodbye.
So whose ending is this?
The number. This. Thank you. As the escape, please.
Do we get to see the letter?
Shit, they're gone.
All we can do now is hope they bring help back.
Indeed.
I agree.
I looked down at Quark's letter and slowly unfolded it. His handwriting was still slightly uneven, but he'd filled both pages with writing. I began to read. It was a really stormy day when he found me. He said the rain was coming down so hard it almost hurt, but somehow he managed to hear a baby crying. I guess I must have been crying pretty loud. He took me home and did his best to raise me, but he'd never been married or had a kid before, so I think it was really hard for him. He couldn't figure out how to mix the formula, so he was always carrying the directions around with him. Also, I guess I was a pretty picky eater, so if he didn't get the water to formula ratio just right, I wouldn't eat it. I guess I was kind of a pain, huh? But he didn't give up, and now here I am. When he found me, I was really, really small, and he was worried that I might not make it. But he didn't give up. Nope. That's why he named me Quark. A quark is a really, really small thing, and I was really, really small too. Grandpa didn't need to worry though, because it turned out that I was pretty tough. When I was 1, he forgot I was sleeping in the bed on the bed of his truck and drove off. I rolled out and went off the back, but I didn't even get scratched. This has to be Quark's ending then. I started walking when I was 2, and when he wasn't looking, I fell down the stairs. It's really late to start walking. I didn't get hurt then either. When I was 3, I got really sick. I had a super high fever for a week, but eventually I got better. I guess you could say I'm pretty lucky. Anyway, I didn't really have any more accidents after that, and I was a pretty healthy kid. By the time I was 6, I started helping Grandpa out with his work. His job was to gather junk from abandoned buildings. Then he'd fix it up or pull out the useful parts and sell them. There were plenty of abandoned buildings, but finding good stuff in them was hard. You had to know which parts were useful, or you could end up wasting a bunch of time. Every time I'd find something, he'd explain to me what it was, how it was supposed to work, how to fix it, all sorts of things. Usually though, I just wanted to finish up work so I could go to the theater. The theater came to our town once a week in a wagon. They'd show old news or movies. I went every single week, but Grandpa only went once in a while, and he'd only go weeks when they showed movies. Oh yeah, I didn't know that I'd been adopted until I was 7. One of the other kids on my block told me. I guess after Grandpa found me, he looked all over town to try and find somebody who would take me. The kid from my block actually had a mom, and he'd asked her if she would take me too. I gotta admit, I was pretty shocked when I heard that. There weren't a lot of kids with parents around, so hearing that someone lived with his actual mom was pretty impressive. I was also kind of surprised that Grandpa had tried to get someone else to take me. Did that mean he didn't want me? No, it's not what it means. The kid who told me about Grandpa trying to get rid of me was a real jerk. was totally spoiled, and he'd brag to everybody about how he had a mom. He liked to come up to me while I was working and say stuff like, "Must be hard not having a mother." It never bothered me before, but after I found out that Grandpa had adopted me, I started to think that maybe he didn't really want me. If I could work on my own, then he could get rid of me. I was scared to know the truth, so I never asked him. Then one day he took me to a bar in our neighborhood. Why? During the day, of course. He went there sometimes to drink scotch, but I'd never gone before. When we got in, he just walked up to the counter with that grumpy look he has, and I thought, oh no, he's gonna make me work here. But I was wrong. I saw him pass something to the bartender, and then he picked me up and sat me down on a stool next to the counter. The stool was pretty high, especially for a 7-year-old kid, and my legs just dangled off of it. It seemed really, really high to me, and I was pretty nervous. Oh, it's a root beer float! Eventually, the bartender came back over with a glass of scotch and another big glass full of something else. As I looked close, I realized that the second glass was full of some sort of brown liquid with a scoop of ice cream in it. It took me a minute to realize what it was. Doesn't it look like like towards the bottom of the glass that they're like mouths, like two mouths, and like they both got tongues licking the sides of the glass? A root beer float. I'd never seen one before. I was so surprised. Root beer was even more expensive than the nicest alcohol in the bar. To me and the other kids, it seemed more like an urban legend than a real drink. But there it was, right in front of me. I stared at the float. I still wasn't sure it was real at that point, and then turned to look at Grandpa. He looked back at me. I didn't know what to do, so I turned to the bartender. He'd already turned around and moved off, though, so I figured he must have put the glass down in front of me on purpose. It still didn't seem like it could be real, and I was just staring at it when Grandpa told me to hurry up and drink it before the ice cream melted. His gruff voice sounded like an angel's. Is this really mine? He nodded. Words can't describe how awesome it was. I never tasted anything like root beer before. Now I want a root beer float. The creamy sweetness of the ice cream made my entire head feel light. I felt like the luckiest boy in the whole world. That's not an exaggeration. I really thought that. The root beer float was delicious. But what made me even happier was Grandpa. When I looked over at him, he was smiling. I know that's gotta be hard for you to imagine, but he really was. For then I didn't care whether he'd just found me and adopted me or not. He bought me a root beer float. That made me way luckier than some kid who had a mother but had never tasted root beer. Of course, after we left the bar, he was the first kid I bragged to. So Grandpa and I were doing pretty good until the fight. I was in a super bad mood that day. I'd torn one of my shoes that morning. Some old drunk guy had yelled at me. All the junk I found was totally useless. The day was almost over, and I was fed up, so I just grabbed some random trash and took it back to the house. When I showed what I'd found to Grandpa, he frowned. He started going through each thing I'd brought back, explaining why they were all useless. I got really mad and just yelled, "I don't care!" Then he got mad and I couldn't take it anymore, so I ran away. I was pretty upset, and I started thinking that maybe Grandpa had only adopted me so he could raise me to work and make money for him. After a while, I went and hid in an abandoned building. By then, I had started to calm down and think that maybe I should go back and apologize. It had started raining pretty hard though, so I decided to wait for it to stop. But that was just an excuse. The truth was that I was nervous. Part of me knew I'd done something wrong, but I didn't want to admit it. It's tough. The rain didn't stop though, so I just sat there staring out at the gloomy gray sky. It's a little weird that it's red. I imagined Grandpa coming to get me. Why? It kept raining all night and he never showed up. He's not psychic. I gave up waiting and decided it was time to go home. I was about halfway there when I heard somebody groaning. It was Grandpa. He was probably in a drunken stupor. At first I thought I should just ignore it and not get involved, but I went over anyway and it was Grandpa. Yep. Told you. He was totally soaked and I could tell right away that he'd been there for a really long time. I yelled and he opened his eyes a little bit. He smiled weakly and said he was glad I was safe. He'd spent all night out in the rain looking for me. That's why he was soaked. I felt awful. You fucking should! Grandpa had been out in the rain looking for me so long that he'd collapsed. I was horrible. He'd heard me crying in the rain, but I hadn't heard him. As I ran to get the doctor, I promised whatever God might be listening, that if they would only save Grandpa, I'd never ask for another root beer float ever again. I don't know who discovered root beer floats, but they be a genius. He got a real bad fever and his temperature wouldn't go down for days. The doctor said that if it kept up, he'd die. If he died, then I'd be all alone. Yup. There wouldn't be anybody left to care about me. The thought of that happening terrified me. Fortunately, I must have passed some of my luck on to Grandpa, because a week later his fever finally broke. That's a long time to have a fever. I was glad he wasn't going to die, but I was also a little scared. What if he had decided he didn't want a stupid kid like me around anymore? My plan was to apologize as soon as he woke up, but when the moment came, my brain just stopped. Grandpa started to talk and it took me a minute to realize he was apologizing. I didn't know what to think. He explained that he was an old man and that meant he was probably going to die sooner rather than later. He was strict with me because he wanted to make sure I'd be able to make it on my own after he was gone, but maybe he'd been a little too strict. All the things I worried about had been stupid and selfish. Grandpa cared about me a whole lot. He'd been worried when I ran off, and he'd gone out into the rain to look for me. I tried to apologize, but when I opened my mouth, I just started crying. I don't think I've cried that much since I was a baby. But he just smiled and patted my head. I asked him if he'd ever regretted adopting me. His eyes got all wide and he said, "Of course not." He told me that he was looking for a really important lady, and because of that, he'd had to give up on pretty much everything else in his life. But when he took me in and started raising me, he felt like he'd gotten some of what he lost back. That was when I decided I'd stay with him forever. Even if he said I couldn't. I don't know, for some reason Tenmyoju kind of reminds me of Santa. Oh, that was such a good ending. Tenmyoji. It was Tenmyoji's end. Okay. Alright. This one. Okay. Well, I guess it was a letter about Tenmyoji, not Quark. Okay. We are going to go here and choose Betray. Because they chose Betray. Fuck you guys!
Results from round. Please start.
Yep. Oh, guess who can't leave? Guess who can't leave? Oh, I don't know why you're going to Betray. Like, why not just choose Ally? Oh, I don't know why Kate. I guess Kate chose Ally because of Luna. But
Points have been assigned or subtracted. Please check.
hey, what's the deal?
Quark had nothing to do with it. I entered the vote.
So why did you choose Betray?
Couldn't I ask you the same thing? I don't really think this is the time for a fight, though. Look, Clover's over by the door.
What? Oh no. I don't know why he wanted me to choose Ally so badly.
The number 9 door.
Fuck, she opened it.
Ugh! Why? Clover, wait!
Well, she can't wait now. Clover, what the hell do you think you're doing?
I'm going to call the others.
What?
Justice for Alice.
Justice? Wait, do you mean?
The number 9 door has been opened. It will.
Time for me to go. No! Please, Clover, wait!
Like hell, I'm just gonna let you walk out of here.
Dio leapt at Clover, his fists raised. Clover easily avoided him and moved toward the door.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. I caught one last glimpse of her face as she slid through the door. It was a mask of ice. I was kind of hoping that Tenmyoji's
The
vote would
number
change.
9 door has closed. This ends. Thank you. As the escape, please.
I was like, did that just give me that ending? Yeah. Yeah, it does. Okay. Just gonna save here again, because it's like 2 seconds passed. It was longer than 2 seconds, but whatever. Alright, we're gonna move up in the same branch and then choose Betray up here. Oh, when Clover tried to seduce us. Yeah. Uh-huh. 2, 1.
Results from please.
Oh yeah, Alex is still alive. Ooh. Chloe's got 9
Points
points.
have been assigned or subtracted accordingly. Please check your bracelet to.
So, that's how it is, huh? Promises are made to be broken, I see.
Sorry, I just couldn't bring myself to trust you.
I could have chosen betray and killed you. That was a possibility.
Yeah. After all, you did choose betray in the last round.
That was a completely different situation. Well, in any event, your idiotic paranoia has given Clover 9 BP. How do you intend to deal with that?
I don't. Or she'd never try and open the...
Really? Then what's that?
Huh?
Look, I believe she's standing in front of the number 9 door right now.
What the hell? No, no way! I didn't think she'd just ditch Alice.
Oh, the number 9 door.
She opened it.
Shit!
Clover, what the hell are you doing?
Sorry. Alice gave me an order, though.
Clover, you have to get out of here and call for help. My BP's down to 1. I'll have to play the AB game at least 3 more times in order to get to 9. If someone beats me to it, then we'll be trapped here forever. That can't happen. I'm giving you an order as your commanding officer. Escape.
What about the promise you made me?
Promise?
You said you'd listen to anything I said.
So, I am, aren't I? I can sure hear you well enough. Every little word is reaching my ears, isn't it?
The fucking loopholes of these people!
What? Were you thinking of something gross? You're a perv.
Hey, come on now. Rude. He's respectful.
Anyway, I did what I promised, so I'll be heading off now.
Clover!
Clover!
Fucking bitch!
Wow, unnecessary.
You're not getting out of here!
Leo leapt with a roar, but she danced quickly aside, dodging his punch with ease.
Bye, guys.
With the last carefree grin, she leapt through the number 9 door.
The number 9 door has this. Thank you. As the gate escape, please.
She's gone.
Shit!
All we can do now is wait for her to call for help.
Help, huh? Let's hope there's still someone who can.
What's that supposed to mean? I really do think Tenmyoji is from this timeline, where all of us are from the past. Tenmyoji said nothing, just shuffled off through the yellow door and out of the room. A close silence descended on the rest of us. It was a silence that promised to remain for a very, very long time. Okay. What do we have left? We've done every single branch. We get an ID, don't we? Hold on, there's one place we didn't get all the archives. The pantry. Cause I think the archives help us calendar note, the day the man was abducted, December 23rd. 25th. December 25th. Okay, I gotta look at it. I'm trying to remember, 'cause I really don't want to, like, do it all again. Oh my god, trying to remember. It's blue now. Safe password. Alright, no, we need to be fast. I can do it. I got a really good memory. All I need is a moment. Star. Okay. Yep. Shut the fuck up! Okay. It opened. Okay. Oops. Twice cooked pork, a Szechuan dish, it is made by pan-frying pork, cabbage, bell peppers, green onions with doubanjiang or tianmianjiang for flavor. Paella, a Spanish dish where one cooks rice, meat, seafood, and vegetables. I don't know why there's not a space there. A shallow pot seasoned with saffron. Oh my god, I love saffron. Nasi goreng, an Indonesian dish made with pan-fried rice seasoned with sambal, kecap, manis, and terasi. Schnitzel, a German dish. It is made by mixing together meat, flour, eggs, and breadcrumbs. Frying the mixture in butter or lard. Ooh. Dokgaejang, a Korean dish that the process involves stewing beef, vegetables, namul, and powdered chili peppers together very slowly. The resulting meal is very spicy. Borscht, a Russian dish. Preparation is very simple. They stew meat and vegetables together for a long time. The finished meal is garnished with beets and sour cream. Tom Kha Gai is a Thai dish made by stewing chicken, chili peppers, ginger, and nampula in coconut milk. Very spicy. I love Thai food. Chef's pasta. I love Korean food too. Whatever the chef feels like making. Sometimes you don't know what it is until you take a bite. Sometimes you don't even know them. Word 03 says, when he leaves there, if you have a nice trauma, have a nice trace, have a nice trumpet. Free the soul. An emerging religious organization with a rapidly growing membership, some figures claim the congregation numbers over 1 million over 1 million in countries across the world. Originally, the organization called itself Free the Soul of Y, but later dropped of Y to become simply Free the Soul. The founder of the religion is known only as Brother, and his true identity is a mystery. A small number of the highest ranking members have seen him. The doctrine of Free the Soul demands that its adherents separate themselves from the world, free themselves of lust, and release their souls from the physical body so that they can be purified. Its followers believe that they will be born again as a new race. The world will be transformed into a place of equality with no conflict or poverty. Considering how a peaceful world of equality with no conflict or poverty usually plays out in the movies, they seem like a pretty scary group of people. Free the Soul is a powerful new religious order dedicated to establishing a new world order, and the Myrmidons are their elite frontline soldiers, and that's of the secret war. The Republic knows nothing about the Myrmidons, but their actions have put them on watch lists of intelligence communities across the globe. Rumors say that all Myrmidons have the same face, suggesting that they may all be clones of a single person. No one knows where this rumor comes from exactly, but I can tell you that it's a very credible source. The founder of Free the Soul, Brother, although he prefers not to be referred to as such, as a child he had a younger brother whom he was very fond of. Unfortunately, the worst happened and the younger brother was murdered, raiding his spiritual brother, and for 9 days and 9 nights, he was consumed by his own misery. On the morning of the 10th day, however, he had a revelation. Mankind was rife with base desires and needed to be purified, so that a new world could come into being. God had spoken to Brother and given him a mission. Brother dedicated his life to realizing that mission, and at the age of 26, he established Free the Soul of Y. He claims the Y is the symbol for miracles. Here's some information that isn't revealed in the game. The bracelet put on the left wrist and the 9 participants in the Amidex game has an important feature that's never mentioned. As soon as it's put on, the needle on the other side activates and inserts itself into the wearer. That doesn't necessarily mean that it injects a drug, only that it activates and pierces the skin. Maybe there's something on the needle, or maybe there isn't. All that's certain is that when someone puts on the bracelet, they get poked. Okay. Pass for pantry, moon. How are they not like, how do you figure that out? Feels like we did none of the puzzles. Alright. Oh my god, every time. Okay. I just wanted to be like, oh, you did it, and then I can move on. Got all those, got all those, got all those, yep. All those. Okay, the cyan door I need to do again. Okay. I don't even remember the crew's quarters all that much. If I'm being perfectly honest. I think we're gonna have to solve this. I'll take that. know how to use it, I just don't know what to do. I didn't mean to do that. Go away. Okay, we're getting out of here. Right? Yep, I know that. What about sledge? Yep, gonna freak out. Okay, so arm. I forgot Fire's a partner here. Oh, hello. Hello. Nope. Arm and leg. The right leg. Left arm and left and right leg. Oh, I need something. Goodbye. Alice, I didn't check your phone. I forgot the phones were a thing. Okay, goodbye. Wait a minute, this key. Awesome. Okay, you're the only one that's open. Last door, okay. Okay, I see it. And the shoulder, right shoulder. And left leg. Yeah, is there, can I touch these drawers? Over the coaster. I think it was a reply, right? That is not here. Okay. Five and four. But you can't make it all over. I really don't see how that makes any sense. I'm not gonna cut it up. Oh man. I know. Okay. I don't remember what I'm supposed to do here. Okay. Where's Alice? She's the one that helped me with the phone last time, right? Oh, sort of old. What am I supposed to do with the box cutter? I'm gonna go to room 3. Is that where I'm at? Like where I got the box cutter. This is open. Okay, what do you got? You got limes. Fucker. Circle, star, diamond. what if we equip for childish? Three, 7, 8, 1. I don't know, but I don't know why that seems so familiar. Not familiar, important. The name of gosh, he is illegible. Oh, that actually dialed. Hello, can I help you? I got your number on the wall. Oh, huh? Shut up. First example appeared sometime around 9500 BC, time known as the Egyptian Neolithic period or New Stone Age. Stone's tools shaped by polishing or grinding were becoming common. Often they took the form of gillettes with honey concealed inside a wrapping created from ground oats, wheat, rye, or... Do you ever stop? Grotesque sounds of ravenous, gruesome consumption. What? Vomiting. That was the number I wanted. Was 9 instead of 6. Thank you. Whether you prefer the mental or physical test battery, warning, mental tests carry a small risk of death. 911. Okay. Remember, I'm an adult. Ready for the time of your life, sweetheart? Only $24.95 a minute. Oh, that's a little too rich for my blood, thanks. Oh, okay. What about Fi? Do I touch Fi's phone? I don't remember. Oh, Troy's got mine. They are... Let's try this one. Yeah, it's just, yeah. Oops. 3472. Sorry. 3472. Shut up. Good job, you opened it. Yeah, pretty great. You know what? I'm gonna pause, and I'll figure everything else out for here. Okay. Well, finally back. Whew. The other one that we get. Fun. That took forever. I had to go through all of it. I already forgot what it was. Something. Bam. Did I... For here, did I need... I got all eight. Archive, go to... There we go, primary. There are a total of 7 varieties of chromatic doors in the nunnery game facility. One of each of the following colors: cyan, magenta, yellow, red, green, blue, and white. The primary chromatic doors will be open in a specific time. Participants can see how much time is left until the primary door is open. Yep. Several conditions must be met by the group that entered the primary door. In order for the second door to open, there must be 2 pair of bracelets and 1 solo bracelet, and the other color. 3 bracelets must together form either the color of the door that you're trying to enter, the complementary color. This is kind of hard to remember though. So let's look at it this way: red plus blue, open the magenta; green and green, the magenta; green and red, open yellow; blue and blue, open the yellow; blue, green, open cyan; red, red, open cyan. EU stands for erotic units. EU is a system developed to measure the combination of physical, emotional, and situation of attractiveness. Ranges from 0 to 20, where 20 might be Marilyn Monroe and 0 might be Guilford Gottfried. For the curious, Danny Trejo rates 16 EU. Just being sexy does not guarantee a high EU rating. Not to be confused with competing systems for hotness or sexuality. The EU system weighs a number of factors such as practicality, sustainability, emotional investment, and the bias of the observer. Women with a high EU rating have usually mastered the art of the tease. A collection of films that Temyoji Grandpa Videos gathered. Their content isn't explicit per se, but they still aren't really appropriate for someone Quark's age. It should be noted that the term does not imply the videos contain grandpas or grandpa-like actors. Sigma has a strange verbal and possible psychological tick which causes him to make cat puns whenever he talks about cats. The cause of this behavior seems to be an experience he had as a child. When Sigma was in preschool, there was a deserted house near his school, and everyone called the cat mansion. He'd always loved cats, so every day he would visit the cat mansion and give the cats that lived there some of his lunch. One day he realized that he couldn't understand what the cats were saying to one another. A magical black cat appeared and told him that it had given him the gift in exchange for giving food to its fellows. But the magical cat said, "You can never tell anyone about your gift," the magical black cat warned. "If you do, you'll be cursed." But young Sigma was so happy about this newfound ability that he slipped and told a girl about it, so the black cat cursed him. His curse was to speak only in cat puns for the rest of his life. Fortunately for him, the magical white cat came along soon afterward, felt the curse a little too harsh, and lessened it so that he would only talk in cat puns when he talked about cats, and they lived happily ever after. Okay, phone, a device that converts sound to electrical signals and transmits them over a wire so they can be decoded and played back on the other end. It's useful for speaking to people who are far away. The invention of the telephone was generally credited to Alexander Graham Bell in 1876, but there is a dispute in some circles as to whether or not it's the truth. In the game, there is a phone in one of the cabins that it can't call outside the facility, of course. But what if you try something like 5309 or 6969? Other numbers might do other things to give it a try. Okay. Alright, now let's get out of here. We are in the quarters. Star, sun, star, okay. Oops. Alrighty, let's get out of here. Go. Oh no, not a map. Oh, what in heaven's name? How dare there a map exist? Okay. Let's go. Oh, did it again. Let's go. I forgot how much they talked in the beginning. Alright, let's open this door. Yep. Alright, is that it? I think that's it. Talk. I was like, please talk. Okay. Look at our flow. Okay, so we now have all the archives, okay? So now we just need to... Who planted the bombs? I mean, we know it's Dio. Okay, we have to see if we can get anything from these places. This one's a little harder because I have to know the fucking password and I don't know the password. So, anyway, I'm gonna end this part here. Thank you guys for joining me for this part. If you like the video, leave a comment down below. Leave a comment down below and tell me what you think of the video. If you want to see more videos that I've done, go ahead and subscribe to the channel and check it out. But I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye!